All right, I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points with your two favorite hosts. I'm D, and this is Big Tech AJ. We're coming at you with Season 8, Episode 3, Extra Spicy Beach Soup. AJ's talking about Missouri's Agent Orange beach disaster. So throw on your best Class C encapsulation hazmat suit, and let's get to it, bitch. Find us on Patreon and Instagram at Points Pressure.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
I was sure you were going to fuck that up.
100%. I did it a little backwards, but it still works.
No, it worked.
Out.
It worked. Yeah. No, I thought you'd trip over encapsulation or anything like that.
Too. Yeah, I'm on it today.
Yeah, nice. How's your week been?
It's been a pretty okay week. On Friday, I don't even know if I told you this. I think I did. Yeah, I talked about it on stream. You might have missed it. Friday, I clocked into worked for like an hour and a half, and then I lost access to everything.
They fired you.
Yeah, I know, right? No, a bunch of people in our work chat were like, hey, did this program just go down? And I was like, yeah, mine went down. That's weird. And everyone else was like, oh, yeah, strange. So my boss was off that day. And so somebody reaches out to another supervisor, and they're like, oh, just go into like system downtime. Like 5 minutes later, they're like, okay, everything should be back up. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, looks good for me. Looks good for me. I go to the page and I hit refresh, and it's like, the server IP can't be found. And I'm like, okay, weird. So I go back into Google Chat, and I click on a name, and it like refreshes the page in Google. Down. I go to our like VPN service that we use. It won't even let me fucking like authenticate or log in.
Hell yeah.
And so I text my old manager, who has since not worked at the company. I was like, hey, I hate to do this, but I have no way of contacting anybody. Do you
don't
have
have
their
anyone
number?
else's number?
Yeah, I didn't even have my boss's number. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're good. Here you go. Like, no sweat. So I text this other supervisor, and she's like, yeah, let me put in a ticket. I'll expedite it. And I was like, all right, sounds good. 3 hours go by.
Hell yeah.
And I literally cannot access the internet. I can't access my fucking email.
Damn.
I can't Google anything.
I was chewing on cords outside all day. Was that it?
That actually explains it. Nothing. I don't have fucking anything. And so then I get a text from my boss, but I don't have her number saved. And I just get a message that says, I'm trying to contact you on Google Chat. And I was like, oh, I don't have access to fucking anything right now.
Oh, that's spam.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's how I found my wife.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, I just wanted to make sure everything was okay, because you have the same order. Like, you've had the same one for 4.5 hours. And I was
Wait,
like,
did they not communicate?
I can't remove myself from it because she was off for the day.
Oh, so you texted somebody else.
So I texted the backup soup, not her, because I didn't have her number.
Oh,
and so she's like, I just want to make sure everything was okay, because she's a workaholic, so she checks in on stuff even on the days she takes off.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't ever do that. That's stupid. But she's an old nutso. And I was like, yeah, I can't access anything. She goes, I'll put a ticket in. I go, oh, this person already has. She's like, oh, okay. They told me they're expediting it. And I was like, yeah, it's been like 4.5 hours.
Of course.
I haven't heard anything. I'm just sitting next to my computer. She's like, okay, sounds good. So I just hung out like all fucking day. And then 4 p.m. hit. And I was like, I'm off. She goes, okay, we'll have a good 3-day weekend. I was like, I'm also off on Tuesday. I requested it off.
Hell yeah.
And she's like, they might reach out to you on Tuesday. And I was like, I'll see if I respond.
Yeah.
Like,
hey,
whatever.
We'll see if I'm in service, right?
Not my problem. So yeah, that was it was a nice lazy Friday, and I get a long weekend, so it'll be good. And then I'm going to get fired on Wednesday.
Yeah, there you go. For
Fucking
taking the 4-day weekend and hacking the system.
Yeah, for real. No, there's.
It's because you've been sitting on one task for like 82 hours.
I told her, I was like, hey, I don't know if it's due today or what, but like, you should remove that from my name, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to work it.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
How was your week?
Oh, not too bad. Pretty run of the mill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Till the
standard
ring
week.
alert.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oof. Yeah.
Figure that would be something we can talk about on here.
Yeah, if you want, I'm
Yeah,
down.
now that we're established a
Yeah,
little bit more.
now that other camera gives me a little
It
bit
makes
of
me feel
a
a lot better. I can't
yeah,
rotate it.
all of my anxiety went away with it. I was like, okay, I feel much better
Oh yeah,
about this.
I can't rotate that camera because that model of Ring camera can't be rotated in the app. All the other models can.
I will say, when I went out to the
Stupid.
car and I was walking back in, you can see the red dot, and as soon as it's motion activation, the blue dot turns on. And I was like, oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's pretty obvious. I was like, hopefully that makes people fuck off.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was up until like 4 o'clock last night because night shift.
Yeah.
And I remember getting a Ring notification, and I always look at them just in case there's a raccoon trying to go after our chickens or something
Yeah.
like that. So I look at it, and I'm like, delirious. It's 2 o'clock. I
Yeah.
just pull it down, and it just shows somebody walking in our backyard away from the basement door. And in that brief glance, I'm like, that could be one of the people who live in the basement.
Yeah. And
Like,
then,
no biggie.
I woke up, and my wife turns to me, and she goes, hey, we had like a weird notification on Ring last night. And I go, what do you mean? She's like, I woke up at 5 and I checked it because I saw there was motion in the backyard. She does the same thing. She's like, I'll check to see if there was a raccoon or whatever. And she's like, and just take a look at this. So she shows it to me. And it's just a like fucking lurchy ass. It seems almost like a 50-year-old dude. They seem,
No.
They look older, I think.
got skinny young guy whose metabolism's catching up because he got a bit of a beer
okay.
gut.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Wearing the skinny jeans or joggers or
Wearing
something.
like a leather jacket, which I don't own one, and they just walk past the camera. And I turned to her and I was like, what the fuck? And she's like, yeah, I saw it. And I was like, you don't own a jacket like that. And I was like, no. And so I immediately just take out my phone and I text you. And I was like, hey, when you wake up, I need to talk to you and show you something. And so like 20 minutes later, we met out in the garage and had a little meeting.
Meeting of the minds.
Yeah, no idea who
national
this
security
dude
meeting.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
some dude walked past our fucking back ring light in the backyard.
Now they
weird.
walked into the yard from the side that the Ring doorbell doesn't view,
Yeah,
and then walked behind the backyard camera.
yeah.
Went
dude.
down because you follow the footprints. They went down to the basement. Basement door was locked. They came up, and you can hear him say something like they locked the back door or something like
Yeah.
that in the audio. So they were talking to somebody,
Yeah.
and to me it looked like they were holding their hood to block their face from the
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah,
So that's freaky.
yeah. So it
It's
was
never
a
happened before.
kind of a fucked little situation. We all kind of just freaked the fuck out for a little
Yeah.
bit. So
I've got a loaded shotgun next to my bed.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I gotta like I did put up the motion activated light in the back.
Yeah, I got another
fucking
camera.
Yeah, and we're just
And they didn't get in.
we're just staking out
We're
tonight.
staking it. Oh yeah. No, I wasn't gonna go to sleep anyway. So
I won't be able to, so yeah.
hey, you
So
know what we
just
should
don't
do?
come downstairs.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no.
tell you that. Don't come
I'll
downstairs.
warn you if I do. You know
Yeah.
what we should do is start a print. There's motion in the yard.
Oh my god. I know. We both just this has been all day for like all of us.
I think that's a bug.
Is we all get a notification, there's motion in the backyard, and everybody just goes whoosh, and looks at their phone. It's been a tense day. But
Yeah, it's just a
honestly, it feels a lot safer to know that there's like
Oh, it's from the heater. It's exhaust from the heater. It's right there.
oh, that's a
The
good
steam.
point. That's a good point. We should probably
We'll move it eventually.
put like something in the way so the steam goes away from it. I don't know, we'll figure something out.
Yeah. So and then I'll tomorrow I'll probably go and fucking fix the camera so it's not upside down. I figured out that the mounting plate that's a bitch and a half can be mounted on the back, so I'll put it just on that post.
Oh, okay.
Just make it
Can you not
easier.
Oh yeah, you just said you can't
yeah, which
rotate
is
it.
stupid.
That's so goofy. But yeah, so it's been a fucking hell of a day trying to get through the emotions of that
Yes,
shit.
of just ooh, that was almost
Yeah.
really bad. Like
Yeah.
it was that close. Yeah, and I told some of the neighbors about it too because I
Yeah.
got some mail from some of the neighbors, so was like, hey, just so you know, this happened.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Ugh, gotta love it, I suppose, but...
Yeah, I'm not super worried about it happening again, at least with the same people.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it really felt like they just kind of gave up.
Yeah, and even if they did come back, we have plenty of things in place to take care of it. So
Yeah. Booby traps.
Yeah.
Boiling.
Spiked punji sticks that we already peed on.
Oh, I shit on them. Boiling hot buckets of water on door frames.
Yeah, an iron with nails in it.
Yeah.
God, that was one thing that Abby brought up. Is she goes, "Could we put up like booby traps?" And I go, "No, that shit's so illegal."
It's actually
dude.
so illegal.
I was like, "That shit's so illegal." She's like, "Really? Why?"
Because a
I was
cop
like,
could walk into this
like,
yard.
because anybody could get killed by whatever the fuck you put up. She's like, "Oh, I guess so."
A kid
she
could
just
walk
loves
into the yard.
violence, Yeah.
I mean, I love booby traps. I love
think
boobies. I love traps. I love booby traps.
What kind of traps? I need clarification.
Yeah, I'm not going to
on
clarify on that. So, good question. So, when I was growing up,
Yeah, right.
I actually made a bunch of traps. This is my level of autism. I'm gonna share a nice, lighthearted story.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my neighbor was very, 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 very old. We shared a yard with him, like old to the point where didn't really leave the house very much. But I would mow his lawn, and in exchange, he didn't care if we played in the extra almost acre, I think, behind the nice yard that was just overgrown. We called it the forest because it looked like a forest, and to a kid,
Is that
it
the
really
one on
was.
that side?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, it used to be way overgrown back there.
Damn, that's crazy.
And it was awesome. So I dug out what could basically be viewed as a mortar pit. And then I piled the dirt up like the sandbags as a retaining wall. And then I would sharpen a bunch of sticks and dig trenches.
Oh, God.
Put the sharpened sticks in them, not thinking anybody else would ever walk back there.
Yeah.
And then I would put branches across the top and replant the grass on top and do all these traps and stuff.
Yeah.
Fast forward 5 years later, somebody else owns the house, really nice guy with his family, knew I used to play back there, we're good, we're close. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to clear out this area, put some chickens back there, really utilize the space."
like, just
he
don't
definitely
do-
stepped in one of my trap fucking pit traps.
Oh, my God.
Luckily, he did not get hurt. He was wearing
Yeah.
big, heavy work boots and stuff,
But he
and
was still
they'd
just like,
been
"What the
there for a
fuck?"
while.
Yeah.
He was like, "Did you dig holes back here?" Like, oh shit, that was so long ago. I was a kid. I was a teenager at that
for
point.
Viet Cong shit.
It really felt like Viet Cong.
Jesus Christ. He's like, "I'm not going to go in my backyard anymore because AJ next door is actively trying to kill me."
Yeah. Yeah. So don't go back there. And so I have a history with traps
Yeah. But
that maybe I'll talk about another day.
maybe one of those days. But
Yeah.
so it's been a
there you
day,
go.
but
it really has.
But yeah, I think we're fine. We'll be good. We're all luckily we're all aware of it, and we're all kind of on edge for tonight. So luckily,
I'm not super worried.
not like on edge, but we're all just kind of like, yeah, we know if something
Yeah.
goes down, we're all going to be ready.
Dude, they're not going to survive. Holy shit.
I know. I'm like, fuck.
If I hear a bang, I'm just going to start shooting.
I've had to come to terms today with the fact, I was like, I might fucking kill someone tonight. Like, I might,
Yeah, you came to
I might
terms.
fucking kill someone tonight.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't like that idea.
So
but-
I have these. Listen, I own guns. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a liberal. I own guns. We exist.
yeah.
It's just fun to go to the desert and go bang bang.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the shotgun. It's got a magazine. It's amazing.
Oh, Jesus.
It's got I think it's a 10-round magazine.
Damn.
So it's huge. And I've got these home defense rounds that I just keep in one of the magazines just in case. And it's like a slug with a bunch of pellets.
Oh. Ouch.
I hope I never have to use them.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
But man, it'll blow off your fucking leg.
No shit, dude.
And that's
Good
where I'm aiming.
God.
Yeah, so don't come to our house tonight. Everyone's on edge. And everyone, anyway, I started blasting. That's the energy of the
Honestly,
house right now.
yeah, nobody come open any of these doors after fucking 9 p.m.
Yeah, I might drop my phone and then hear bang, 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 bang.
For real, dude.
Yeah.
It's a very tense home for the next couple of days.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, we won't drag it out just so that we don't spook anybody. So what do you have? What do you have for your,
I guess
episode today, I suppose?
So just to start off, kind of transitioning in, how many episodes have we done on the 70s?
A lot,
Holy
but it was a
shit.
hell of a time, man.
It was a hell of a time. It was awful.
I also feel like the 70s are one that, like, at least for me, we would always get just to the 70s in school, and then it was like, oh, well,
Modern enough.
Yeah, term's over. Sorry, we got caught up through everything you need to know. Like, that's U.S. history. And then it was like, the 70s were fucking insane.
Yeah.
And
like,
I don't know how
the energy crisis.
it wasn't talked about, but I
Holy
bet
shit.
it's talked about more now
It
because
better
it's
be.
50 years ago. But yeah, when I was in school, it was just like, it was one of those that was like, oh, yeah, it was the 70s. Big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
We
big
got
thing.
through World War II, so now it's just hang out till the end of term.
God, unless you were like 20s to 30s to maybe 40s and swinging, the 70s probably sucked at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
Still
Unless you
probably
were-
better than now.
Yeah, if you were hot or had an open sexual relationship with your wife, the 70s probably fucking sucked.
Yeah. So, let's see here. So, yeah, we're just going to add this onto the list of the 70s.
Yeah.
All right. So, this is a 70s episode, as you could tell. So, today we're talking about Times Beach, Missouri. Have you ever spent any time in Missouri?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Who
Yeah.
has?
I'm pretty
Hey,
sure the only people that have are the people that live there.
the people who are forced to spawn there.
Yeah.
So, any...
If you did know, fun fact about Missouri, that's actually where, according to Mormon belief, Missouri is where Adam and Eve were.
Jesus Christ. The Garden of
Yeah.
Eden
The Garden
was
of
in
Eden
Missouri.
was in Missouri. God said, I'm going to start like all of humanity in Missouri.
And that's why
Like, get
it's
come
the
on.
center of civilization today.
Center. Yeah, it's the center of the universe, actually.
Yeah. Exactly.
Scientists and myself have found that out and proved it.
Yeah. And we found
Based on math.
Noah's Ark in Ohio.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Ohio.
The Hudson River.
And you know what? They found Lot. Because he's a giant. They found his body in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, yep, true. It's all true.
It's all true.
Heard it
6,000
here-
years old.
Heard it here second.
Dinosaurs.
Only after the Mormons.
Yeah. Dinosaurs are a trick played on us
Yeah.
to make us question him.
Yeah. Dinosaur bones only exist because Jurassic Park blew up so big in the 90s and people just started burying animal bones to make them look like
carving
dinosaurs.
them into dinosaur bones.
Yeah, true.
Yep, you heard it here first.
Yeah. Especially after we got canceled after the last episode. After our very, very extreme views, we're going right-wing shill now. So
Oh yeah.
we're like full-on
Hey.
Christians. Yeah.
By the time you're hearing this is Trump's America, baby.
Kill me. I'm good.
I couldn't even like finish joking about that.
On Martin Luther King Day, too.
Yeah, how about
Grand.
that? Fantastic. What a great symbol.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about depressing things that happened in the past, not the depressing current times.
Yeah, right.
So in 1925 and just before, the St. Louis Star-Times newspaper.
St. Louis, kill yourself. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
That's what it's called. I didn't make it up. They ran an ad that said, anybody on the street, could purchase a 20-foot by 100-foot plot, that's 6 meters by 30 meters,
Okay.
for $67.50.
20.
And that included a 6-month newspaper subscription.
20 by 100?
20 by 100.
Damn. that
2,000 square
sucks.
feet.
Damn.
That sucks. Sucks
For how much?
For $67.50.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I was trying to process the math. I was envisioning while you said the price.
Oh,
Never mind.
yeah.
That's actually not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not.
But it's
too
in
bad at all.
Missouri, so that sucks.
It's
they
in
should
Missouri.
be paying me.
And it's not even
live
a
in the
town
lot.
yet.
Yeah.
Literally, this town was started because of a newspaper ad. So it started off as like a summer retreat because, pre-war, post World War One, pre-World War Two,
It's the Wild
Roaring
West.
20s. It's the Roaring 20s.
Yeah.
And so it was more like a summer retreat town, a resort town, where everybody would buy a plot of land, put their house on there, and that's like their summer vacation
Yeah.
in Missouri.
You're a half a day's travel from Chicago.
Yeah, there's a river you can go boating. Just don't drink the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Stay out of the way of the commercial ships.
yeah, and all the oil refineries just south of town.
Jesus.
No, but yeah, it was a resort town. It was a summer home, little hideaway, and then the Great Depression happened very soon after they started. People were like, "This is a great investment." And now we have to sell everything.
We didn't know what a Dust Bowl was before we got here.
Yeah. And then World War II, immediately from the Great Depression into World War II. So it kind of turned this...
And then they went,
19
what the fuck do you
Yeah.
mean, Tornado Alley?
Jesus Christ, yeah. They're like, climate change. Changes every day. No, so basically all of these events just made this town into low-income housing.
Yeah, it just got worse and worse.
Just like parts of Appalachia now.
Oof.
Yeah. Fewer than 2,000 people ended up in this town. But every once in a while, they'd have some travelers pass through the years because it was on Route 66.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so,
Not bad.
they had a gas station.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
had a
that is
cafe.
kind of a like good spot to be on.
It's all right.
Yeah. And back then.
Back then, yeah. Till they completely rerouted.
So they were
that
like,
road.
oh, yeah, fuck all those little towns. Interstates.
Yeah.
Interstate highways.
So in the late 1960s, there was this kind of strange demand for a very specific herbicide.
Okay.
And it caused a facility to open in southwestern Missouri. And
They're like, because if we pump the fumes from making it into the air, there's nothing to kill nearby.
yeah, I'm getting my
Yeah.
caffeine.
It goes airborne. It's not going to fucking kill anything. We're in Missouri.
Yeah,
Everything out here is dead inside already anyway.
Exactly. So
It's like layman's Ohio.
it's somehow worse, Ohio. Oh, God, I just spilled. I'm sorry. Oh, God. I'm panicking. Oh, yeah, it was also built on a floodplain. So a
Oh,
lot of
the
original houses were built on stilts.
Oh, Jesus.
Like it was that routine of flooding.
Good Lord.
Genius.
Yeah, grand.
Yeah, so this new, like, the Northeastern Pharmaceutical and Chemical Company opened a new facility in southwestern Missouri. That's their short version of their name is Nepaco, which is kind of like evil villain vibes.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like Dad's the evil villain vibes. Nepotism Co.
Exactly. Exactly. And then it sounds like Depakote,
It's like
an
Elvis
anti-seizure
Presley
medication.
Jr. Co.
Yeah. So this herbicide that specifically started to go in high demand in the late 60s was equal parts 2,4,5-trichlorophenoxyacetic acid and 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, also known as Agent Orange.
Oh, okay. I was like, I hope we get a clarification on that.
No, you don't know. I put in a lot of big chemical words just to, pad for time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Let's see. So a byproduct of the, let's say, purification of Agent Orange is an accumulation of 2,3,7,8 tetrachlorodibenzo P-dioxin. We're just going to call it dioxin.
Okay.
Most people just know it as dioxin.
And that's fair.
So they would, basically clean up this chemicals because you clean up your chemical reactions and stuff like that. Watch Nile Red.
Yeah.
You got to clean
true,
up,
yeah.
get the impurities out. One of the impurities that was common was this dioxin. It was a thick, oily substance. It was very dangerous, and it had to be incinerated to be destroyed.
I fucking knew it. I knew it. There was
Yeah.
going to be smoke.
There is.
There's going to be combustion.
Maybe. So looking to save a little bit of money, see, Nepico contacted the local company known as IPC, Insane Posse Clown. Now, it's Independent Petrochemical Corporation.
Contacted local juggalos.
Yeah. And said, hey, we've got a bunch of this dioxin. We don't really know what it does. It doesn't have any real chemical uses, but it hasn't really been studied. Mm-hmm. But man, it sure does stink if you try to smell it. So we want you, IPC, to take our dioxin and incinerate it. You're a chemical company. You should have the means to do that.
And they go, no, we'll just dump it in the ocean.
IPC says, yeah, we'll do this.
Like, just put it in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. Gulf of America. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about current times. I'm sorry. I keep
You're
going
good.
back.
You're good.
Oh, God. So they were like, okay, yeah, we can figure this out, I'm sure. We're a chemical supply company and have no way to get rid of anything. Let's figure it out.
We get the stuff to you. We don't take it from you.
This is where the greatest crime of all time has ever happened.
Oh,
Get
no.
this shit. So IPC knew nothing about waste disposal, but accepted the contract to dispose of the dioxin for $3,000 per load of dioxin.
Okay.
That's like truckload.
Yeah. It's insane.
IPC then
Flips it,
subcontracted the waste disposal out to an individual man named Russell Martin Bliss,
No.
who had a small local oil waste business.
What the fuck? Okay, so Russell, they reach out. My guess is they just put like an ad in the paper. They're like, do you get rid of chemicals? And Russell called and he was like,
I get rid of oil.
I get rid of oil. And they're like, an oil man. We can fuck him
an
over.
Oil man. They paid him $175 per
my
truckload.
God, dude.
What a business-making venture.
I'm sure he was like, yo, I'm going to be rolling in the fucking money, dude.
So this guy, I mean, think back to the 70s. How do you think people normally got rid of their oil?
Actually, I think I know. They would dig a hole in the ground, they would fill it with gravel, and then they would pour the oil into it.
Yep.
Or they would just pour it in the gutter.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So this guy dealt with like industrial amounts of oil.
Yeah. Which
Normally.
he would probably just pump into the sewage system. In all honesty.
He just got poked a hole in it so it's drip feeding.
Yeah. He's like, I don't have any idea.
He was industrious. He's a hustler. He is a hustler.
He had a cremation machine and he would just fill it and then burn it all at once.
No, he's like the side hustle king.
Yeah.
So Bliss in 1971 received 6 truckloads.
Bliss got that grind set.
Oh yeah. He's got 18,500 gallons.
How many truckloads?
6.
6. Okay, hold on.
So he made
175, right?
Yeah.
Times 6.
Yo, gotta pull out the phone.
Mental math. Carry the 4.
Yeah. Carry the 1.
Drag the 2.
Check your work. You got to check your work.
Add the 0. $1,050.
Oh my God, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Even for that time,
Mind you,
that's a good chunk.
The company made it was 6 trucks, so they got $18,000.
Yeah, and they paid him
off what they
$1,000?
made, so they made $16,050
by just being a mediator.
Yeah,
just
being a
by
delivery
saying,
company.
Hey, bring the trucks there.
They were the pizza delivery company on that one.
Yeah, an independent pizza contracting. They're the DoorDash.
Chemical DoorDash.
Yeah, they're chemical DoorDash. So yeah, he got so it was so much. Like I was reading this whole story before I found the exact numbers, and I was like, oh, it must be like a barrel, like 50 gallons.
Yeah.
No, it was 18,500 gallons. So he was like, this thick oily substance, this is exactly like what I'm already doing. I'm just gonna dump them in my vats with all my oil.
Oh, dude, no.
So he did. He has these huge vats and huge tanks for the oil recycling.
This is like someone at an ammonia company being like, yeah, I'll get rid of the bleach too.
Yeah, may as well. It's basically the same thing.
Pour them in the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you have a mask, boss? My lungs are killing me. He's like,
Yeah,
weird.
it's not related to work.
Fine. Make sure the fans are on.
Yeah. So pretty soon after this, he had been able to sell off a bunch of oil to a fuel company in Illinois. and then to a refining company in Overland, Missouri.
That has this byproduct in it.
Well, he didn't tell him that. They said,
Yeah,
hey,
no,
can
I'm
we
just
buy it? Oh,
clarifying.
yeah, it's mixed in. It's all mixed together. So they came to him and are like, hey, we need this used oil.
And he goes, I got leaded oil.
Yeah. Bonus oil, extra special,
Yeah.
bliss oil.
You ever heard of the 13 secret ingredients KFC does?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how he starts his every business pitch. That's how he starts it.
You ever had Dr. Pepper before?
You know how when you eat a cherry, you're disappointed, but when you drink a cherry, you're really excited about it.
I figured out how to make that into oil.
Yeah, the oil version of that. Yeah, so immediately a bunch is being sent around the states.
Oh, God, dude.
We really don't know what happened to that oil, the Illinois and the other Missouri oil. We don't know if they just used it.
Just put in
As
inner city
normal?
water supplies.
Yeah, we really
It
don't
was
know.
put into the water supply in New Jersey.
Yeah.
We have an episode for that.
We do. We actually do. So, yeah, it seemed like his plan was he would get paid to remove the oil, and then he would hold on to it until he found a way to get rid of it, whether selling it to different companies or...
Oh, so that was his disposal.
That was his
He was a
disposal.
resale company.
Yeah, 100%.
So he was an oil flipper.
He was an oil flipper.
Oh, God, dude.
He was a used oil flipper.
I dispose of oil by giving it and selling it to other companies to do whatever the fuck they
Yeah,
want with.
Exactly.
It's like a fucking funeral home being like, yeah, we get rid of dead bodies. And then
By selling them
to the
universities,
U.S. government
to the US
for
government.
army testing.
Hey, we got an episode on that.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Hey.
Hold on. Time out.
So yeah, as a businessman on the grind set, he was always looking to make a little more money on the side.
Yeah. It was the 70s. There's
It's
no
the 70s.
regulation. He's fine. There's not a rule for this yet.
Yeah, he's always trying to make more money, but apparently he doesn't negotiate contracts very well.
Clearly.
Yeah. So Bliss also happened on the side to own a horse farm and track.
Okay.
So have you ever been to a horse race?
No,
I'd
but
love to
apparently
go
they
one
do
day.
them in Evanston. We should go.
Weird.
Yeah. It's like $10 to get in.
All right.
And then you can bet all of your life savings away.
Let's do it. Fuck yeah.
Put it all on black.
The horse?
The black horse.
Okay.
Always bet on the black horse. That's the
Yeah,
rule
I've heard
in
that
Vegas,
before.
right?
I've heard that
That's-
before.
that's
Yeah,
it.
I've heard that. And then they say double or nothing.
Yeah. Hit me.
Hit me. Yeah. So anybody who's been to a horse track knows it gets kind of dusty.
I don't know. I haven't been to one,
Well,
but I'm sure.
You've seen movies.
No,
you've
I've,
seen media. You've done stories on horses.
Yeah,
It gets dusty.
I went to the this is fucking, I think this is the weirdest and most non-D thing I've ever done in my life. I basically went to like the horse track Olympics in Canada. It's the only time I went to Canada. What the fuck's it called? It's called Stampede.
What the fuck?
They do like fucking wagon racing. They do horse racing. They do like horse barrel racing and shit. Weird as shit. I know. It was in my younger days. I think I was in my 20s, early 20s.
That's so weird. Like
Yeah.
I can't even
It's like
think of a
it's like
series
a
of events that would
fucking-
lead me there.
Dude, it's like a 2-week-long event.
What the fuck?
I was there for a week. We only went to like 2 or 3 of the days. But yeah, they do some crazy shit. But
That's
yeah,
so weird.
It's like Cowboy Olympics. Yeah.
Oh, sorry
Look it
for
up.
yawning.
Yeah.
I'm
Look
so
up the,
bored by horses.
Yeah, look up the what is it? Calgary Stampede, I think is what it's called. It's
so
fucking
weird.
crazy. They only do it like once every 4 years or some shit. It's bonkers. But yeah, I went.
That's so
It's
weird.
weird as shit.
Yeah. So he one of the ways he would recycle his oil is that he would spray down
No.
his horse pasture and
So
the
that it would
track
just
with
get in-
oil
Can you
because it
imagine?
would keep that pesky dust down.
Yeah, but then when the dust comes up, it's just gonna make everything oily.
Yeah, right?
It's gonna be like a fucking like Taco Bell fry station.
No, it's going to be like
It's like KFC.
the Vaseline
it's like
package opened in transit.
It's like the floor of a KFC.
Exactly.
2
Or
KFC
Arby's.
references. This
Let's switch to
episode,
Arby's.
yeah.
It's
Arby's,
the floor of an Arby's. So yeah, that's just something he did forever, and you see, it's the 70s.
Yeah. So they're like,
yeah,
whatever.
you can just spray a bunch of oil, keep that
everything's-
damn dirt down.
Everything's sticky.
Yeah, everything was sticky. And so, doing horse races and stuff like that, it's, I assume, a pretty close-knit community. And people were so impressed. Every time they went, there was no dust going in their drinks, going in their food, going in their faces, that he started to get hired. They would talk to him, who's the owner here? Oh, I've got a horse track just like this, and we'd get dust all the time. And how do you do it? And he's like, hey, throw me a $5, I'll come over. I don't know how much he charged.
He goes, you ever heard of Dr. Pepper?
Yeah. The 13 herbs and spices. And yeah, he starts getting hired.
Oh, God, dude.
And May 19...
He just goes, but my only ask is that you make the horse tracks a smoke-free environment.
Yes, it must be a no-smoking area. So May 1971, a stable paid him $150 to one truckload, by the way. Roughly one truckload.
So he
this
lost
chemical.
money on it? Because he get $175.
No, he already has those chemicals. Now he's
I see.
spraying the chemicals mixed with his used oil.
Okay.
And so they paid him
So now it's
$150
even
bucks
more. Yeah.
to.
God, dude.
So he's doubling his money.
Yeah.
Even more.
Yeah,
like
that's a
his
good
return
point.
on investment is crazy at
He's
this
not
point
using
because
the
he was
whole-
paid
yeah.
to take it in the first place.
That's a good point.
So yeah, he sprays down their stable. He used 2,000 gallons of oil.
Oh, my God.
Let's say oil, even though it's oil
So
and
he still has a
dioxin.
spare 1,000.
He still has. So
In the truckload.
oh yeah,
'Cause
in
they're
for
3,000
one
gallon
truckload.
trucks, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So he used that, and the people, the owners at the time, were like,
Man, this place
"This is
stinks.
kind of thick and smelly. What's going on?" Which I've heard that. I've been called thick and smelly before.
Yeah.
But
That's what they called me in high school.
all of a sudden, like the next day, birds just start dying.
You don't say.
Yeah, birds flying over or just dropping from the sky. It's so bad. They're dropping out of the air. The
But like,
barn
well,
is bird-free for the first time ever.
As long as the horses aren't dropping dead.
The horses start going bald.
As long as they can still race.
They started getting sores, open sores and wounds all
Holy
over their bodies.
fuck.
It is bad. They immediately went to Bliss and was like, "What the fuck did you spray?"
Yeah.
And he said, "It was just oil. It's the same oil I used on my land back when you hired me." It wasn't, but
Of course not.
that's what he told them. It's the 70s, you see. That's
Yeah.
basically the tagline.
For real, God.
So immediately,
Well, there's no regulation around what I do.
what are you going to do? Sue me?
Yeah. We don't even have lawyers in Missouri.
Yeah, it is Missouri. So the stable owners paid to have 6 inches of soil on their property removed. They
Whoa.
leveled 6 inches of their entire property.
It's a lot of horse track.
And now all that chemical is in the landfill.
Oh, great.
Which is great.
Yeah.
A few months later, they paid to get another foot of soil removed because 62 horses got so sick they had to be put down after they
Jesus.
removed the initial
That's
6
a-
inches.
Holy fuck.
And then the
And
owners...
we also talked about how expensive horses are, too.
Yes.
This is the 70s. I think I talked about it from, like, the 90s. That's a lot of fucking money. 62 horses is millions of dollars.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's not cheap to level a foot and a half of dirt
Yeah.
off of an entire acreage.
Yeah.
As a horse
Holy
track.
shit.
Like, the owners and their 2 kids started developing headaches, nosebleeds, abdominal pain, and diarrhea.
That was the 70s. It was probably that
They probably had
magic-
the
Yeah,
McDonald's.
they
or
probably
something.
had the magical mushrooms or some of that acid.
There's some
Yeah,
Satanist
something like that.
rituals.
The CIA put something in the water supply.
That's more likely.
That's what's getting them, not the oils.
So within a month after May, so June, I suppose, Bliss had a job to spray another horse arena near Jefferson City. 12 horses died.
He goes, how do you feel about removing 2 feet of
2 feet of dirt
the
in a
next
month?
5 months.
Yeah. 12 horses died pretty much immediately. And the kids of the owners in that arena were diagnosed with a little-known illness called chloracne.
I was like, Cancer.
Probably as well. But chloracne.
What's that?
It sounds like chlorine acne.
Yeah. Which is that what it is?
It is the worst acne, blackheads, pustule explosion possible. In fact, I'm going to pull it up.
Okay.
Just to show you.
Chloracne. Ouch.
Chloracne.
Talk about pizza face, am I right, kid?
Oh, God, yeah.
Damn, that would be miserable. Like, imagine you're doing your daily routine, and you wake up, and a week later, your skin is fucked, and it was because you were cost cutting. Oh my God, dude,
It's
it looks
bad.
like zombie skin.
It looks like zombie skin.
I'm sorry to anybody that's suffering from chloracne, but
They're not.
that's scary because
Do you want to see it on this dude's penis?
Ow!
Yeah.
Damn.
It looks awful. So you will not see an image of that on our Instagram.
Yeah, just look up chloracne penis on Google.
Yeah, do that. And
If you're
and then
over
send it to me.
18, if you're over 18.
And then send it to me.
Yeah.
But we now know what causes this skin condition. At the time, it wasn't
chemical
as well
byproduct
understood.
mixed with oil.
It is the main chemical or the main side effect of dioxin poisoning in humans. So they also removed, I think, 1 foot to 1.5 foot of soil from
And
their
I bet
property.
it wasn't enough.
A third farm,
Does that get into like your jeans or anything?
like your pants.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, it was on that guy's penis.
Yeah.
But does it like affect your DNA? I don't know.
I mean, it is
feels like it would.
carcinogenic. It's mutagenic.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
that's
it can
kinda
totally
what I
fuck
was
with
getting
you.
at. Is it?
It's bad. It's
Damn.
horrible, and I'll go into it a little bit more.
Jesus.
Yeah, another farm was sprayed. Let's see, about a month later again, and the first 2 locations actually contracted the same guy to remove all the soil, and he put most of it in the landfill, but some of it just on one of his properties near some houses.
Yeah, it's fine.
He just piled up some big piles of dirt.
Yeah, he went, I don't have enough to sell this, so I'll just dump it out.
I'll just dump it here on this property.
Yeah.
Literally where somebody was renting a house. It was like right across the street from them. So that's great. I'm sure no kids ever play in large
He's
piles
like,
of dirt.
I didn't dump it into their house.
Yeah. So at this point, the CDC is getting a little nervous
Yeah.
because in August, they started getting reports of like these untraceable illnesses, these horse deaths. They start an investigation. They start taking soil samples. They start taking blood samples. But they mostly just find PCBs, 1,590 parts per million, which PCBs were a lot more common back then than they are now. Those are like some of those forever chemicals. 2 years later, they're running more samples, and they find trichlorophenol in 5,000 parts per million, which is a chemical that causes terrible blistering.
Okay.
And they're like, okay, that's weird. That shouldn't be there. And finally, in July 1974, 3 years after they've been investigating, they identify 30 parts per million of dioxin. That's how little there was.
Yeah.
This guy must have had a massive amount of oil that he mixed this into to dilute it down.
Uh-huh.
So those 30 parts per million, I mean, it was probably more before the soil removal. I don't know if that's how much was in the soil that was removed.
But regardless.
But still, it's a tiny, tiny, tiny amount that can be dangerous. At this point, not a lot of studies had been done on dioxin. There wasn't a huge understanding about it, except that when animals were exposed to it, they die really fast.
You don't say, yeah. It's
So I'm sure
killing-
that doesn't transfer to
Yeah.
humans at all in
No,
any
I
way.
wouldn't. No, I'm not a bird, so.
Yeah, I'm not a bird, so it's fine. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah.
So the CDC combed the area, and we're kind of able to piece this back to our friend Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
And so they went to him and said, what the fuck's going on? And he said, I don't know where any dioxin would have come from. I just have oil here.
Yeah.
Totally lied to him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he probably didn't understand what he was buying
Yeah. He's like, they're just
or
giving
getting
me
paid
more
to
oil.
take.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably...
It's just a different color.
Yeah, they were like, hey, we've got this chemical, this trichlorophenol or whatever. And he goes, what color is it? Is it thick like oil? Yeah, I can handle it.
Would it mix with oil? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Send it over.
Bring it in. So, but they were able to link, finally, after three years and finding this stuff, they were able to link the Nepico company to Bliss. They were able to piece together how it got from there to Bliss.
They go, hey, you've been spraying this everywhere. And he goes, whoa, I'm just using what IPC gave me. And IPC's like, whoa, yeah, that guy, we're fucking him over. We're like major cutting into what could be his own profits. We're just going to buy product from these guys.
Yeah.
Don't look at us.
We didn't do it.
We're DoorDash.
He said he could handle it. That's not on us to do due diligence. And very few chemical reactions actually create dioxin.
Okay.
So they were like, okay, these guys were making Agent Orange. That's one of the few. Obviously, it has to have come from this. Unfortunately, fortunately, Nepico went out of business.
Oh, okay.
In 1972 because the FDA banned hexachlorophene in concentrations over 1%. This is because it was linked to like 39 infant deaths and brain damage to hundreds of infants because at the factory they were making baby powder. And if you put like less than 1% of this, it's not harmful and it's a great antibacterial.
Okay.
They put a little bit more and it started killing infants all over France.
If you just put like one extra drop of Agent Orange in there, we'll get rid of it a little bit faster.
So Nepico was mostly producing this hexachlorophene. So they got shut down because of that being banned by the FDA. So the CDC actually went to the old plant that's now been shut down, and they found 4,300 gallons of dioxin still just sitting in there, abandoned.
God.
Which is fine. It's fine. So the CDC makes a report. They go over to the EPA, and in 1975, the EPA says, you should be taking more soil off these properties. Everywhere you get these, 30 parts per million is too high.
Yeah.
Let's go down another foot.
Yeah, Jesus. The entirety of Missouri is 2 feet lower
it's
than
2 feet
the
lower
rest
because
of the U.S.
because of Bliss.
Yeah.
Let's see. So they kind of took over and started doing some investigation on their own, and they recommended that the half-life of dioxin was a year. So Missouri officials didn't actually do that cleanup like they should have. They were like, well, the half-life's only a year. It's been 4 years.
It's gone.
It's mostly gone. It's not going to be there, if at all, by now.
It was there.
The unfortunate part is we now know the half-life is closer to 11 years.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they really should have done literally any research on this chemical.
God damn.
So things were pretty quiet until 1979, so 4 or 5 years later, when a former employee of Nepico reported that they had paid just some guy $150 to bury a bunch of dioxin and some other waste chemicals of about 90 drums on his farm.
Oh, my God.
They said, here's $150. They brought in the backhoe and just dumped it.
Yeah. They didn't even, place them. I bet they just threw them in there.
No, they just pushed them.
Yeah. They're like, whatever.
They probably shot a couple to see if the force would push them in.
Yeah. They're like, see if some of these blow up.
Hey.
It's just leaking. Just throw it in with the rest.
Just kick it in. Don't get that on you. It'll rot out your womb. So they dug up that whole waste dump, tested the
2
stuff.
inches of soil over it.
Yeah. You can see the drums just sticking out.
Yeah.
They start. They did that, and they retested all the horse stables just to be safe. And they discovered that in 1982, the dioxin levels had not gone down at all.
Holy shit.
So they start covering it up. The EPA starts covering it up and they start doing mass soil samples throughout the state of Missouri. Because they're like, oh, fuck, we need to understand, how big this is before we tell anybody.
Can you imagine someone from the fucking EPA shows up and they're in, a full hazmat suit?
Yeah.
And they're like, can I take a soil sample? And you're like, what the fuck? Why? And they're like, nah, nothing to worry about.
Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
it's
They
all
go to the
good.
neighbor.
They just, scoop some next to your porch. This is good. You're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
That's
They do
terrifying.
It with, put it in, a sealed fucking container.
And put
Thanks,
in
sir.
one of those suitcases,
That'll do.
the metal suitcases,
Yeah.
and they handcuff it.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Hope everything's fine.
Can you come back?
Please tell me anything. So they found out, or a document gets leaked by the Environmental Defense Fund, which was a fucking environmental group.
Mm-hmm.
They leak a document from the EPA that outlined 41 sites in Missouri that are dangerously contaminated with dioxin,
Oh my God.
and that they were purposely lowering the cleanup standard against the advice of the CDC because, like, they were basically, the CDC was saying at this many parts per million it was dangerous, and the EPA was saying not twice that's fine.
Yeah. And the CDC is like, we're the
No,
CDC.
it's not. We're the CDC. We've done more research on this, actually. So this, it gets in the big news. It goes big on the news is what I was going to say. And a bunch of different investigations start splintering out. And one of those 41 sites was the town of Times Beach.
Okay.
See, we knew about the horse stables. The CDC knew about the horse stables and the landfill and a couple other spots. But people were like, why is this one town on this EPA cleanup list for dioxin poisoning? What's going on? So you see, back in 1972 when this all began, Times Beach was too poor. They're low-income housing. They can't afford a lot, like infrastructure-wise, taxes. They don't really get a lot in taxes. So to not modernize, but to just maintain their roads, their dirt roads, they paid this guy $2,400, this random guy, $2,400 to spray all 23 miles of their dirt roads
Oh my God.
with his oil. He sprayed 160,000 contaminated gallons over the course of 4 years.
Bro.
All through town.
And he's like, I'm making fucking millions.
Look at this. They paid me to get this. Now they're paying me to get rid of it. Holy shit.
God, dude.
Fucking wild. Yeah, 23 miles.
Yeah. Note to everyone listening. Don't drive on a dirt road in Missouri. Don't drive in Missouri.
Don't go to Missouri.
Don't exist in Missouri.
The residents of the town had no idea there was dioxin. They had no idea even soil samples had been taken.
Yeah, they don't
That
even
they
have
were
like
being
a
researched?
local newspaper.
They
Most of
were-
them probably don't even know how to read.
Yeah. It is Missouri, yeah. They had consistently been exposed to dioxin for 11 years up to this point before
Jesus.
learning about it. And so a bunch of pressure from the public kind of forced the EPA to finally do something about this. And they finished a massive soil survey December 3rd, 1982, which happened to be the day before the worst flood in Times Beach history.
Oh my God, no.
So they do this huge soil survey.
Oh, fuck.
And the river rises 14 feet.
Holy shit.
So already you're poor. Already
Yeah.
your house is on stilts,
Yeah.
which has to be a nightmare.
Yeah. And your
And
roads
then-
are poison.
Yeah, and your roads are poison.
Yeah. And now your roads are poison
And dirt.
water's rushing over.
And now you
it.
have 14 feet of water to deal with. Spreading all that, like mixing that all together.
God damn.
Yeah, so at the time, dioxin was considered possibly dangerous to the concentration of 0.001 parts per million.
Okay.
The town was at 0.3 along every road. That's what the
Fuck.
soil samples
Holy
said.
shit.
So that's what, 300 times
God damn.
higher than
yeah.
possibly dangerous?
Well, that's fine. They're poor.
So because of the flood, everybody was evacuated, and the CDC just said, you're not coming back,
Yeah.
which kind of sucks. They couldn't pack their shit. Hopefully they packed enough, but they were expecting to go back.
Yeah. No,
But-
this is quarantine zone now, kids.
It feels like Chernobyl.
yeah.
Like, it's like, you're not going back. Good luck.
Holy
and then
shit.
President Ronnie enters the scene. It's not a 70s episode. Or, I guess it's 80s. but
70s
you know.
and 80s.
Yeah, not an episode without Ronnie coming in. So he does what any Republican president would do, and he starts a task force.
Yeah.
The Times Beach Dioxin Task Force, sponsored by McDonald's.
For real, yeah.
And they
We're gonna cover their roads in cheese.
That's perfect.
God. Fucking idiot.
So this task force started a federal buyout of every single person in town, which at this point was just over 2,000 people. It cost the U.S. government $36.7 million in 1983.
Which really isn't that much for the U.S. government.
Well, for the U.S. government,
Yeah.
but
Considering
for dollars,
Considering
yes.
in the fucking 80s they were probably putting, at that point, still tens of billions of dollars towards the military defense fund.
That was probably the CIA's cocaine budget per year.
Yeah, that was how much LSD the CIA was like making,
producing.
Yeah.
So
how much the CIA was paying the cartel for cocaine.
For the coke.
Yeah, God.
800 families suffered financial issues, trauma, and just the fear of, we don't know the long-term effects of this chemical. We don't know, I don't know how this is going to affect my child, who is now 11 years old and has never been not in contact with dioxin.
Yeah.
Like, this is awful. This is a, like, huge disaster.
He'll
no
be
one
fine.
knew.
He'll just have acne his whole life.
Yeah, horrible acne that leaves huge scars.
He'll have horrible acne. Horrible acne.
And yeah, nobody really knew what to do with something this big, with this chemical.
Fair.
So the town was just empty for a couple years, and then, but it kept flooding. So the dioxin is just spreading into the water table. Phenomenal. And so through the next couple of years, like over the next decade, they're just like testing different places in Missouri. If they find something contaminated, they'll bring it to the town. They basically use the town as a dump for anything contaminated with this dioxin.
Jesus Christ.
Which is bad because, again, it floods every year multiple times.
That's fine. We just keep digging Missouri down. It can't go up. Can't get up and out.
And there are no states below Missouri that the rivers feed
Eventually, it'll
to.
all just burn at the core
Eventually,
of the
it'll
earth.
make it to Louisiana, and who cares about that
Who gives a
hellhole?
shit? Yeah, then it'll be in the Gulf, and that'll be Mexico's problem.
Yeah, guess what? The Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
It's their problem.
Yeah, for real. God.
Yeah, horrible. So, finally, in 1995,
Damn.
they built an incinerator to start processing the material.
Okay, but what chemical does that put off when you incinerate dioxide?
Hopefully none. It should destroy it.
We'll see.
As far as we know today, it does destroy it if you heat it up hot enough.
Oh, okay.
It's a chemical incinerator, specially designed to get super, super duper hot.
You know, one of the things that IPC should have reached out for.
Oh yeah,
in the
100%.
first place.
And that NEPACO was originally using before trying to cut costs and going with IPC.
God damn.
They burned from 1995 to 1997, costing the U.S. government an additional $200 million.
Holy shit.
They burnt 265,000 tons of material.
Oh my God.
From across Missouri.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, there was so much contamination. Like, they're probably burning entire houses at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And this caused Congress to do something. Anything.
Yeah.
Literally
Cut costs.
anything.
Stop burning.
No, yeah. Take down the incinerator.
They're like, wait a minute.
We could have just left all the shit right there.
But we could save $200 million a year.
No, for the 2 years total. We could just save $200 million.
Yeah.
So Congress, because of this whole event and all this investigation, they passed the Toxic Substances Control Act, which required the testing of chemicals that could pose a risk to the environment. They passed the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, which regulates the transport and disposal of hazardous waste, and the Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation and Liability Act, which created a multi-billion-dollar superfund for environmental cleanup of hazardous waste sites. That's like the superfund that the EPA uses.
Okay.
So all of that was set up because of this
so they
singular
did
event.
the right thing.
I mean, kind of. They kind of dragged their feet for 20 years and ruined 800 families' lives.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not the thing to look at.
No, you're right. You're right. Sorry.
Look what they accomplished.
Look how much good they did.
Yeah. Sometimes these things take time.
They just take time. Yeah. The money wasn't there.
God. Yeah, for real.
We
could have compensated these families more, but what if instead we go to the Middle East and start a war in the 90s instead?
How are we going to fund...
That's way better than giving
the
families
oil
more
wars
money. Yeah.
If we're paying out all these families and like taking care of our own people back home.
Yeah. Why don't we just sell a bunch of weapons to people in Afghanistan so they fight the Russians? We did an episode on that.
Oh my God. So, yeah,
And we won't give the family the proceeds.
No, absolutely not. Just checking the recording. Okay, it's still going. So, in like the 80s and the early 90s, the government opened up the ability for people exposed to these chemicals to sue the responsible companies.
Okay.
Who do you think has a
good.
better lawyer?
Yeah.
Bliss or Nepico?
Just gonna sit in fucking litigation forever until Bliss can't afford to get out of it, and
Well,
he settles.
Interestingly enough, before those laws were in place, there was no legal obligation to maintain records of chemicals.
Oh my god, dude.
So it was really difficult to charge Bliss with anything because you couldn't prove he ever got the chemicals.
Yeah.
Even though he has multiple witnesses,
Because
like, I
he-
paid this guy to spray
Yeah.
this oil, and then my 16 horses died.
Do you have the contract? No, we just had a firm handshake.
Yeah.
Shit. Well,
You
that
got
was
a
good
receipt?
enough.
I paid cash.
That was good enough in the 70s. Damn.
It's the 80s now. So yeah, the remains of Nepico and the parent company, who technically still owned it, got sued 14,000 times, including by the government itself.
Jesus.
Bliss denied he knew that the chemicals were in the chemical waste that he was contracted
That he
to get rid
mixed?
of. Yeah, it's so stupid.
What
He
a
literally
fucking
was
dick.
like, I didn't know there was dioxin in that dioxin I bought. Like,
Yeah. It's like, well, I didn't know it was that
well, they
chemical.
didn't. Nobody called it. Nobody said,
Yeah, they just said,
hey,
hey, it's
we're
a
going to sell you some
byproduct.
oil. No, they said, hey, we have this chemical waste.
Yeah.
Do you want it? He's like, well, I didn't ask what it was, so it's not my responsibility.
He's like, man, well, it's like plausible deniability. It's so fucked.
And you know what really sucks? Those horse stables, which, I mean, they probably had plenty of money anyway, because who owns horse stables?
Yeah, true.
But they
Which-
settled out of court with Bliss for about $10,000.
Damn.
They could have. Well, I don't think he had anything else. Honestly, I think that was
True,
everything
yeah.
he had. In 1999,
He's like, you can take my company, and they're like, no.
no, I got a lot of assets, just vats of oil.
No, we're good.
No.
Fucking 400 million gallons of
Yeah,
oil
it's probably
and
still
dioxin.
dioxin.
Yeah, he's like, I got this. We don't want it.
No, thank you. Yeah, so in 1999, Times Beach and the surrounding area became a state park to commemorate Route 66.
Commemorates
Aw.
it. Just don't go into it.
Pretty much.
You can look at it
Look
from
at
a few
it.
miles
There's a
away.
gas station here. There's a couple buildings left. I do want to go here. If I'm ever in Missouri for some god-awful reason.
If I'm ever diagnosed and given like terminal cancer,
No,
I'll
it's
go check it
pretty
out.
safe. Ooh, ring notification in the garage.
Uh-oh.
It's a car driving past. Gonna have to change that.
You can just share that with all of us too.
What?
The garage one. I don't have access to it.
Oh, it should be just on the account. We'll figure it out.
No sweat.
Update Unsolved Mysteries style
Yeah.
music. So a few months after the evacuation, the American Medical Association came out and said to the media, or said that the media were dipshits, and there's no evidence of danger from low-level dioxin exposure over time.
Okay. I don't believe you, but okay.
Well, interestingly enough, the dude from the CDC who recommended the evacuation, a couple years later, by 1991, was saying, that evacuation wasn't really that necessary.
Oops.
The main symptom of dioxin exposure, that chloracne, was not present in any of the residents at the time of the evacuation. And the LD50, which is the lethal dose in 50% of lab rat participants basically dosed, is considered to be 0.2 or 0.02 milligrams per kilogram, or about 0.02 parts per million in the body.
Okay. So 0.3.
0.3 is what it
been-
was.
Yeah.
But that's environmental.
Yeah.
That's not within, what you're actually taking in.
Uh-huh.
What they were actually taking in was much, much lower.
Yeah.
It was closer to that 0.001.
Okay.
So I guess as long as you didn't eat the dirt, and as long as you hired somebody to come spray oil and keep the dust down.
Yeah. As long as you wore shoes in Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah, as long as you kept hiring a dude to spray some oil down, that would keep your exposure low enough that they didn't need to ruin those 800 families' lives, really. I mean, I still think it's good because that place was a hellhole and contaminated still.
Yeah.
Like, that's still dangerous for the environment and everything. But luckily, if anybody wants to move back to Times Beach, I know a guy who will spray down your dirt roads so that we can keep that exposure level low. His
perfect,
name's
yeah.
Bliss.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Great guy. Does it for cheap.
Oh, yeah. Very cheap.
Jesus Christ. What a fucking doucher.
Dude, it's crazy. One guy, basically, because of a company being
Upended
shitty.
800 families' lives.
And
if not more.
Oh, definitely more. Like,
Yeah.
people did die from this,
Yeah.
but it's impossible to actually be able to link
Quantify.
it directly back. But horses, birds, like huge
Jesus,
environmental impacts forever.
Holy shit.
And yeah, just because Nepico wanted to save some money.
Yeah,
They
wanna
were
cut
all.
costs.
The craziest thing is they were already incinerating the dioxin. They were already paying a company to
But it
incinerate
just
it.
costs too much.
Yeah, why not
It's
pay?
cheaper to just have it shipped off site.
Yeah, and it's not your problem anymore.
Pay another company $1 per gallon. Easy peasy.
Easy. There you go.
Well, if you guys would like an ad-free version of the show, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/points-o-pressure. We also do an exclusive episode per month. AJ has his great series called Voices on there, and we've also got like 30 sloppy seconds. Go check that shit out. We have some low-priced tiers on there. You can use the code that's in the description to get 20
Season 8.
Yeah, season 8, 20% off, I think it was, for your first month. Go check it out. We'd appreciate your support. If you can't afford
Season
it,
8, one
we
word,
have,
15% off.
we have a free tier, so check that stuff out. You got those names?
No.
Oh no.
I actually don't. Oh no.
Uh-oh. Burn time. Also, check us out on Instagram at pointsopressure or instagram.com/pointsopressure. She puts a lot of work into it, so go give us a follow and like all of her stuff.
Yeah, we've got subcontractors Minnie D. Thomas and Toddle Waddle.
Yep.
They read contracts.
The Oilman.
The Oilman. Of course, we've got Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Nordic Thunder, Weston, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, G-Dog, Grover, Laura Vo, and Lindo. Thank you all so much for being here. Let us, fuck around, tell you about how good Missouri is as a state, especially during Reagan times.
Right? We appreciate you guys. We've been growing a bunch, all thanks to you. So, yeah, truly, thank you. And if anyone ever has any recommendations for movies, TV shows, show ideas, if you got a book that you've read that was really good, if you have some dirty magazines you recommend, send it along. Or, really, if you just have somebody to talk to, reach out to us on Instagram at pointsopressure. Feel free to email us at ppdnaj@gmail.com or go to our website, pointsopressure.com. Go to the Contact Us page and send us a voicemail or an email, and we'll catch you bitches next Monday.